Buddy the dog. What are you doing, my friend? Waiting to see what kind of adventure that I'm going to have today? Or you're just not that interested? Sure. But yeah, today we're going to do something that I meant to do a good while back. We'll let Buddy the dog lick himself in peace there. We're going to go get something. And it's something that I don't necessarily need, but I don't want to see it go to the junk, which is my life's work, I guess. So we're going to go try to get it. This lady called back and took an offer that I made a long time ago. And so that's what we're going to do. However, I was too lazy to get the GoPro because I realized I forgot it in the house, and I'm not going to go back and get it. So I'll just film this on my phone, and we'll see how that goes. It's probably not going to be that interesting, but anyway, we are going to get started on that right after this. All right, welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver Man, and the accumulator of all things junk, I suppose. This thing that we're going to get is not junk by any means. It's just obsolete. And I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I can tell you what it is, I guess, before we get there. Remember back when we got those, there was that 5-bottom 508 plow and that 565 5-bottom plow. Well, the same place, the whole reason that I went there the first time wasn't to buy those plows. It was because the person called and said she had a 4-row planter for sale. And so I went to look at that, and she was way high on her price. Like, definitely it was not worth that. I mean, she wanted like, I can't even remember. We'd have to look back at that video, but it was thousands of dollars. And I told her, I said, I hate to burst your bubble, but it's not worth that, you know? A plate planter, it's a 543 plate planter. Actually it's painted red and it's badged as a white. So it's one of the lighter ones, which I thought was kind of interesting because I've got one of the, you know, I've got a green one. I've actually got 2 green ones like that. And it's been in the shed the whole time, and these guys used it actually to plant, I'm trying to think now. No, this one they did plant corn with. They had that, it's actually the same place that had that 6-row plant air, and also my 6100 planter all came from this same place. They used the 6-row ones to plant soybeans on 30-inch rows, and then this 4-row they used to plant corn. And there you have it. So I left her that day. We bought those plows, which I thought was a super good deal on those. And I left her an offer on this, and I said, this is what I would give. I wouldn't give any more than that. And I said, if you are interested sometime, my offer will still be good. So she called just before Christmas, a week or so, or 2, and said, hey, I want you to get it out of here. How soon can you get it out of here? And I said, well, it depends on, you know, the weather, and then it being close to the holiday time. There's, you know, have to work around all that stuff. And she said that's fine, because she said that when I looked at it, the tires were, who knew? I think they were kind of half flat and didn't really know the status of what was going on. So I, you know, said, we can get it whenever. I'm not in a big hurry. And she said, well, the guys who rent her place, you know, or whatever, said I'll tell them and they'll get it ready. Well, the other day they must have had time and they got it aired up and pulled out in the open. I think it's still in the shed, but it's to where I can get to it. So anyway, that's the plan. We're gonna go check that out and see if we can't get that home. Also, if you've noticed, there's something wrong with this truck. I'm hoping it's just the switch, but the wipers keep running all the time. You know, at least it's intermittent. I mean, it's on the lowest speed, but here in a second they'll wipe again. And then, yeah, it's a bright sunny day. We don't need that. So I read up on that online, and people said it's probably this switch here. I should have replaced that when I did that clock spring, and I just didn't. Also, I know it's messed up because one time I used push the in to get the spray, you know, and then it wouldn't quit. It just kept on. So I would say that this has got some issue, and we'll have to tackle that at some point. But today's project is going to be trying to get this planter home and see how that goes. Well, here it is in all its glory. It's really a straight looking planter. I mean, pretty decent. Even has the little insecticide boxes on it. So I just couldn't bear to see it scrapped or anything, you know. So we might take it out and try to play with it this spring. I've had thoughts of doing a video where I try out like 3 or 4 different planters. So that's maybe in the works. These lids I have to take off before we leave because they won't stay on if I don't. But I don't know. I'm waiting on the guy who owns these. There's a grain truck sitting back here, and I won't be able to get it out for that. So if he can move his truck, then I think I'll be able to pull it right out. We'll have to move this trailer, but that probably won't be a big deal. I'll find something, even if it's my truck, to move that and then back up and hook it up. I should have got over here right away the other day when they called, but life happens, you know. So we'll see what comes to be here, and then I'm sure I'll bring you back along the road whenever we have a meltdown. The tires are holding air. That one doesn't look too bad. I don't know. I guess they both don't look too bad. They're actually implement tires and not car tires, so that might be a plus. Pretty weather cracked from sitting, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Don't know if I should show this or not, but here's a 1650. Very nice original 1650. And the whole time it's lived here, I don't think it's ever had the 3-point arms on it because they put it in a corn picker and whatever. But very straight tractor. I don't know how many hours it's got. $3,900 maybe. I don't even know if it still runs. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't. It shows that it was oil changed in 23, so that's not that long ago. It also had that, there's a quick attach loader on there somewhere for it. And so that was what its job was in life, and I've never seen the loader on it either. So I don't know, but just look at it. Nelson muffler on it. That thing would shine up beautiful if you took the time to polish on it. So this was probably the most popular size tractor around these parts, a 1650. There was a bunch of 1650 gas around here. And that's the same way Grandpa did with the seat too. He wouldn't buy a cushion, so he'd just put a pillow on the pan. I don't know. I like seeing tractors like this in their original state. But who knows? Who knows what the story is? Well, we've got a good ways to go, but it is back there. So that's good. Of course, as soon as I say that, here comes something. I'll have to pull over. But I have high hopes that we might make it. We just have to beat any traffic that might be happening here shortly. So I'm gonna let this car pass and I'll bring you back when something falls off. Still trailing along. I decided to go down by the river again. We've been that way with several treasures on videos, but I just thought it'd be simpler than pulling it downtown through town, but so far it's not proven out to be that way. There is a ton of traffic out here for some reason. It's not even the time of day when there should be traffic, so yeah. I just gotta watch that I don't hook a marker on a light pole or something, or a tree. Looks like the one over here to my left has already been bent over a little bit. Maybe that was by design, because when he pulled it down the road, he didn't want it hanging 45 degrees or whatever, but sure. That feller pulled over for me. That's nice when people do that. It only takes a second of your time if you see a farmer coming with any piece of equipment to help them out and just pull over a second in a driveway. It's a lot easier than trying to get the piece of equipment off the road and then make room and then sit there and wait, pull back on the road. So if you ever have that opportunity arise where you can get in somebody's driveway and let the farmer keep going, that's a nice thing to do. It definitely helps. But we're gonna keep trekking on here through the lowland here. This all gets underwater if if it floods, so, because the river's right over there. You've seen that before when we've been this way. So yeah, we'll just keep going. Well, of course, right as I pick up the camera to film, I meet two cars, but the river's pretty well close to the top, so if it had rained much more, we probably wouldn't be able to go this way. It's kind of amazing to me how many people I've met on this road, which there should be really no reason to go this way, especially this time of day. So, oh well. We're making progress, so that's all that matters. There's a bunch of stuff that's floated out there. Buddy the dog, what do you think of our new acquisition? Huh? Yeah? We'll go take a look at it. You can come along or not. I don't care. Looks like you got other stuff on your mind. Either that or you're just trying to stay out of the water. Well, we'll walk by all our other projects we've never got to. Sure. That's warmer weather stuff. Doesn't need to be done right now. But here it is outside in all its glory, in the sunlight. All right. So the first thing I notice about this compared to my other ones, and I don't know if that is factory or not, but the location of this jack. All the other ones I've ever seen, the jack was bolted to the side, and that was fine, except for, I know why they would have done this if they modified it. I don't know. I don't have a book on one of these red ones. It is much more stable with the jack in the center of the tongue like that. You don't have to worry about, you know what I'm saying. What am I trying to say? You know, when you have a jack on the side of the tongue, it gets kind of shaky and all this. So this was much more stable. However, I found that when I was taking it to hook it up to the truck, this was not good because the handle was hitting the frame. It was very close. I couldn't keep my hand wrapped around it. And we might as well just unhook it here now, and we'll see if it, I bet it won't let me do this because I gotta go down a little bit to catch the pinhole. These jacks are actually very simple. I kind of like the design of being able to pull them up off the ground, but you know what I'm saying. It just, yeah, I don't think I can get, see how close this is? You can't really, like, it skins your knuckles if you're not paying attention. So yeah, see there, I hit every time going around. So you gotta just kind of, first of all, turn the jack the right direction, otherwise you're wasting your effort. Second of all, what I was trying to say is you just got to watch how you hold it. And I don't know what the well, let's get this unhooked. I would almost bet that that's a farmer modification fix. It does fit in there nicely, but I feel like if you want to do it that way, you might have to have a different selection of holes to raise that up one more thing. But I bet why they didn't do that is because then your pinhole is affected and you can't get to it. So you kind of got a losing deal no matter what you do there. But it is much more stable than the other ones. What else? Well, we look it over. It's got factory cylinder, that's good. It's probably never ever been changed from whatever it's on. We'll have to read the book and see how that compares to my other ones, because what I would like to do if I do make that video is have all three set up the same and then go out there and plant, you know, 2 or 3 rounds with one and just switch to the next one, and then we can compare how good a job they do. I do notice some differences though here, and quite honestly I would have to look at the other ones to remember how it is, but this is different. This guide for the ropes, I don't believe is that way on the other one. It's something else, but I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what it is. I made a thing up on the tongue on my other one that fit on this rod that had 2 rings, and the ropes could go through there too to help keep them from getting tangled up, because it seemed like whenever you turn corners a rope would sag and it would hook down like around the jack or something and cause you issues. So anyway, these are very simple little planters, and that's part of what attracted me to them way back when I bought the first one, because we were using those John Deere planters with the gearbox, and the gearbox would mess up, and then, you know, you'd have skips and things. But this one, even though we're going to go back and forth now looking at everything, it's so simple. You got your sprockets out in the open, and you can just move the chain over to something, and you can slide this off, and then this whole piece will come out of the shaft that those sprockets are sitting on. It's just a big piece of cast, and it's got 2 clamps on each end to hold it to the shaft. Very ingenious design, I think, as far as simple and easy to change. But you got to do the math now in the book, or look in the book, to know what settings you got. Everything else is like the clutches and stuff. I think that's pretty well unchanged all the way through to, you know, 6000 series, everything. There's not much difference in them, if any. Just very simple little planters. I do know though that after having him plant with that finger planter, it does do a better job. The finger planter does, and so would my air planter if I ever got that going, because it singulates the seed so you're not wasting seed. You don't go through as much seed. With this, you could get the same amount in the ground and whatever, but you'd put more seed on with this than you would with the other one, because the other one counts every single seed and you only drop what you want, or this one's going to throw a couple here. You know, it's not going to be perfectly one at a time, and that's just the way it was for all those years, and it seemed to work for everybody. But I mean, I've planted many acres with one of these, except mine's green, and they're very simple. You know, rope trip your markers. That cable assembly lets the extra cable come out and come to the ground. You pick it up, it lifts it up. They come in here and they latch, and then you pull the rope on the other one, and whatever. This is what I noticed. He has bent, and at first blush I thought maybe the whole thing was cocked, but as I look at it now, it has in fact been bent. And I don't know if he did that on purpose, because he thought that oh, I see, somebody actually is doing what they're supposed to. I don't know if he did that on purpose to keep this one out of the road, because you see when you go down the road and you got the markers in their working position, they hang, well, like this one. They hang more, not really 45 degrees, but they hang more over than they do vertical, and that could be a problem. So maybe that was actually done on purpose, but I kind of doubt that. That's asking a lot there. But yeah, we should probably look it over here and see. The only thing in these boxes, that's kind of neat. I've never seen a sticker like that. The cutters are in here. They were laying on the ground, so I threw them in here. Still got fertilizer down in there for something from way back when. That's probably not good. Nothing in there. I think there was another can. Nothing in there. We'll take those off and give them a happy home. Maybe we can put them on and just raise them up so they're not in the dirt. I think I took them off my other one too. There's nothing in here other than those empty seed bags. I don't know what years they were painted red, or that this was still offered. I know that the 5400 Plant Air was offered 1 year green, and then it became red. And then they kept making this plate planter as a red version, but I don't know how many years they kept it up until they discontinued it. I imagine there was lots of guys who were still hesitant about the whole air planter thing, would be my guess. You know, I bet they still sold some of these, is what I'm saying. There were probably guys who still wanted to upgrade to a newer plate planter, but these are different. I noticed they have like two sides, whereas the early one just has one, as far as my knowledge goes. So that's kind of why I was having a while ago. It kind of makes it different to hook up. These are usually on tight enough that you don't have to worry, but that's what I was hoping. These guys usually put everything extra in the hoppers here. Here's our books, I would say. Well, we're gonna lose it because of the wind, probably. Let's lay that on. I don't really know what's up with the I don't know what's up with the plastic bags. Like, what are these? I don't really know. Maybe that will become more apparent. This is neat. This is like just like the day he shut it off, you know. There's his gloves. That is shiny from riding around in this box, and so is all of that stuff. I would say that's what's why it's all shiny. It's shiny from the vibration. There's a parts tag for something. There's some of these little seed knockers. Brand new. So that's good to know. We got a few extra parts. I like extra parts. I'm not sure what like I said, I'm not sure what that plastic is. Let's just take I'm gonna say that this manual is toast. There might be some pages that are still legible, but we're gonna set this in the truck for now. We will probably have to order us a legible copy. That everything's covered with graphite too. He must have used a lot of that. Let's see, make sure I get this the right way. Let's see what else he's got. More stuff. Usually every little box has something in it of all the planters and stuff I bought from him. That's something. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. Did he plant so much with it that he wore these plates through? Or is that some other type of modification? I don't think I've ever seen that happen. But I think it did. I think he planted so much with it he knocked the centers out of them. There's more pieces for the boxes. At first blush, I thought this planter is super good shape and nice and whatever. But driving down the road, I noticed a few things. And I don't think it's in as great a shape as I thought. What I'm saying is, I think it's got a ton of acres on it, and it's pretty wore out. I might be wrong, but having it out here in the daylight tells a lot more of the story. Any of this good stuff? Broken springs. What's in this one? These are actually hard to get off of there, but that's why they stay on. More plates. That's good. Because you never know what kind you're gonna need, it seems like, whenever they come a-calling. B724X. There was one kind of plate I didn't have, and it was always screwing me up, so I have to see if this one's got them. I have to order some extras too. What's in this? Don't know what that is. Oh, probably like a scraper shim. More sprockets. Sure. Overall though, I'm happy with it because I know where it was headed if I didn't do something with it. And I think it's too nice to just trash. I mean, we can take it out and play with it one of these days, you know. We're gonna have to go through everything though and make sure of what's working, what's not. See, there's something that's bent, and I can tell from just moving them, they're not all the tightest, you know, which tells me too that, see, they flop, that it's got a lot of acres on it. What I noticed going down the road was these. Where are they? Those little row cleaners. Is that what I was seeing? No, maybe that's what, maybe I was seeing that in the mirror. I gotta look at it now from a distance. It would have been that side I saw in the mirror, and it was those. My green one actually has row cleaners on it, which would have been a revolutionary thing back in the day, but they're two little concave disc blades that throw stuff right out of the way of the row. But this is what I was seeing, how this is flopping and this blade was shaking going down the road. So yeah, it's got some wear on it, but it's pretty well been, I mean, they bought it to use. What are you gonna say? And I would say that they probably didn't buy it new, but I can't say that for sure. I know for a while there, they were into going to like auctions and buying it when people would be going out of farming, because in the 1980s that happened a lot, and then they would buy something a little bit better than what they had, although they could have just got this from the dealer, I don't know. But I notice it does not have any of our dealer stickers on it anywhere, so that makes me kind of wonder what's what, whether it really came from there or whether maybe they ordered it brand new and it never had a chance to get anything because they needed it right then. I don't know, but they're both gone, so I can never find out now what the story is. But interestingly enough, out of those brothers, I have bought at least 3 of their planters, and my green one might have come from there too. The green one, when I bought it, was sitting on a dealer's lot for sale, and he said these guys wanted it to be sold, and so, you know, make an offer, and he dealt with them and I just dealt with the dealer, so I don't know really where it came from. My green one the frame had been sawed off, and I didn't realize that till later, so I had to have pieces of the frame welded on so that I could get the full adjustment I wanted, and then I started using it ever since. And we parked that deer, which Dad has that now. But I still got the first deer that Grandpa bought, so I'd like to get it. It's actually set up in 30-inch rows right now, but I'd like to get it out and play with it too, and just see. The last time I looked in the Agco parts book, you could still get some of these pieces, like fertilizer pieces and things. So I'll have to see if maybe that's worth pursuing just to have it nice. I don't know. This one's got the actual hold-up rod, which I never had with my other one. It was just a cluster of sadness. But my green one never seemed to raise it quite high enough to get those holes all in line. And I guess this one probably didn't either, because I see what they've done is torched it out. And that ain't a bad idea, really, as far as making it line up where you don't have to fool with it. But I never could either get it to line up where all 3 holes were. Either my cylinder isn't quite long enough. What you can do is jam something under here so that it picks it up just a little farther. And I've done that. But that is the factory hold-up pin. And yeah, but I'm gonna have to look. I'm thinking what my green one has here is pulleys. It's got like bolted solid pulleys that the ropes go through and whatever, and I guess they decided that these eyes were just as good, so why worry about it? But I don't know. It's winter time. I really don't want to fool with planters, but we're gonna have to work on my soybean planter though, because of that shaft thing not lining up, and sort that out. But I don't know, it's neat, and like I said, I can't stand to see stuff like that go to the scrap yard, because they ain't making any more, you know. Eventually I'd like to have a building where I could have stuff on display, where, you know, if people wanted to come over, I could say, hey, look, here's every planter they made in line, you know. That's probably not going to happen anytime soon, but you can always hope, you know. But anyway, I could put on a pretty good representation of all the planters they made, pull type variety anyway, that you would have saw around these parts, because I've got a what is it called, a 44T pull type on steel, and then I've got the what else, I've actually got a 1-row horse planter they made, and then that 44T, and then a 540, a green 543, a red 543 now, and a 5400 plant air, and a 5100 and a 6100 series. So a good amount of them. I'd like to get, and I know where there's one at, if I could make a deal on that someday, but a 4-row older pull type, like from the Fleetline era, that would have been, and I don't even remember the number, but it's got boxes and stuff like the 44T. But anyway, that's for another day. We don't need any more stuff. I'm not actively looking for stuff, is what I'm saying, but when stuff comes available and needs to be saved, that's when I kind of can't turn it down, especially when it's this close. I mean, this was local, and I knew these guys real well, and I've got most of their equipment as they've sold off over the years stuff. So I don't know, that was always, I really thought a lot of them, and I liked their, it was neat to go to another place that used all the same brand of equipment, and they were pretty well brand loyal, kind of like me. And I like that anyway, no matter what brand it is. It's neat if you go to a farm and all they have is Alice Chalmers, or all they have is John Deere, or all they have is International, and you can look around and you can see the progression of all the stuff that they had, you know, and then they didn't trade it off. They kept it and kept using it, you know. Go to a guy and he's got a, you know, a F-Series Farmall still in the shed, and then he's got a H or an M, and then he's got, you know, Cubs, and he's got up then into the, you know, 856 and 10 or whatever, not, you know what I'm saying. All the different models over the years that they kept getting as they got bigger. And I think that's neat when you go to places like that. So anyway, yeah, I could ramble on about stuff forever, but we don't need to. You've seen a planter before. We'll see this again at some point, but yeah, we saved another one, so that's where we'll leave this video. As always, if you enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up. That helps out the channel, and it doesn't cost you anything. Leave a comment. Tell me that you liked it, or tell me that you hated it. Tell me I'm a moron. I really don't care, but anything that you say helps us out too. So thank you again, as always, for watching, and I will see you in the next one.